Hey guys, this is back again on behalf of Strongside Tactical. Got an interesting video for you guys today about field stripping and cleaning the AR-15 rifle. AR-15 rifles now are very popular among shooters, and for new shooters it may be a little bit intimidating seeing the complex parts and the gas system of the AR-15. So today we're going to take this rifle apart and go over just simple maintenance and simple cleaning. You can get this done in your garage at your house in less than 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be super fancy or super detailed. Just to keep the rifle running smoothly and cleanly. It's well documented that AR-15 rifles need to have good maintenance done in order for them to function flawlessly. So before we get started, I want to take this moment to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you do, those always help, and they help our videos get seen on YouTube. So go ahead and do that now, please, if you can. And let's go ahead and take this rifle apart real quick. Now, the first step you want to do is you want to separate your upper and lower receivers, and that's done very simply by separating the two takedown pins. You got one here in the rear and one here in the front. The one on the front is used also as a pivot, so sometimes it's called a pivot pin. For most upper and lower receivers, you can actually take these takedown pins out just by hand. As you can see, I just push that out with my hand. If yours are a little bit more difficult, you could use the tip of a 5.56 round, or you could use one of these roll pin punches like I use for almost everything when I'm working on the AR-15 rifle. So I'll just show you how this works. When you take the rear pin out, you see you can shotgun the receiver open then. A lot of people actually will clean their rifle in this manner without separating them, but I actually like to separate mine completely. So I'm going to go ahead and push out this front takedown pin and then separate the upper and lower completely. Now you can pretty much set your lower receiver aside now. Lower receivers do not require a lot of maintenance and cleaning. You may seldom, if ever, clean your lower receiver. If anything, you may want to just make sure that your trigger group is lubed and greased appropriately so that it feels better when you pull the trigger. So I rarely clean mine. I will show you just some simple steps here that you can use. But you want to take care that if you do clean everything out with a solvent, that you go back and re-grease the points on your trigger group after you get done. So let's just set that aside. Now if we go to the upper receiver, first thing you need to do here is take your bolt carrier group and your charging handle out of the upper receiver. And you do that just by pulling back on the charging handle there. And when you get right back to the back of the receiver, the charging handle is still going to be captured. It won't come out. So first you need to take your bolt carrier group out. And then once you take that out, you can line up a couple of little tabs on the inside of the charging handle. You can see they're a little bit wider right there. Those fit in a very, very specific groove in the very inside of the upper receiver. You got to line that up in order to get it out. I'll show you how you put it back in so that you can sort of visualize this. It has to slide down into that slot right there. So same thing when you're taking it out. Get the tabs into that slot and then it'll pull right out. And you're going to spend most of your time on the bolt carrier group and also on the barrel. Now that those pieces are out, you have free access down the barrel through the upper receiver, and we'll probably spend almost 99% of our time cleaning the AR-15 on the upper receiver barrel assembly and also taking the bolt carrier. Now here's the most important part we're going to do today. We need to disassemble this bolt carrier group. There's 4 parts that make this up. First part I'm going to show you here. Take a tiny roll pin punch or the tip of a 5.56 round or a pocket knife or something, and there's a very small retaining pin here that's going to hold your firing pin in, and you just need to lift the tip of that out, and now you can see it's coming out. You can actually pull it out by hand. That's the retaining pin. Don't lose that guy. Actually, what I'm going to do is I usually put my bolt carrier group pieces into a little bowl because I'm going to soak them in solvent. And after that, your firing pin is just going to drop right out. You'll see it's silver stainless steel. We'll put that in there as well. Now, trickiest part of this whole process is getting the bolt out of the bolt carrier. So the first time you've ever done it may be a little tricky. Push your bolt all the way into the bolt carrier like that. This is the cam pin. The cam pin right here needs to be rotated 90 degrees so that it can slide past the gas key. So once you rotate that, you can pull that straight out of there, throw that in your bowl, and then you can pull your bolt out of your bolt carrier. So that's actually 5 pieces. I guess I counted wrong, but 4 main pieces: the bolt carrier group, or bolt carrier, excuse me, the cam pin, and the firing pin. And collect all your pieces there so you don't lose them, and those are ready to be cleaned now. And the last part is, you obviously are not going to take the barrel off of the upper receiver just for simple cleaning. So when you're doing your barrel cleaning, you can either hold it by hand, or you could put this into a upper receiver block if you're going to use a rod to push patches down the barrel. That'll make that a little bit easier. Now let's talk a little bit about what we're going to use to clean our rifle here today. Our main goal here is to use a penetrating solvent to get carbon and copper and other fouling out of the rifle. And then the second goal is to go back after we're done cleaning and lubricate it appropriately. So you need those 2 things. There's a huge variety of things that you can use. There's no right answer, no wrong answer. So I've used almost anything. I got a few things here, and you can choose from any array of things to clean. So probably the most popular thing that a lot of people use for a solvent is this Hops number 9. It's a very popular firearm cleaning solvent. It's a penetrating solvent that's going to go into the metal and pull out carbon and fouling. And there's a lot of carbon fouling in AR-15s because of the gas system. On certain parts, I also like to use just straight up brakes parts cleaner. I use that on my bolt sometimes. It's a little bit harsh, so you don't want to get that on plastic pieces or like your mag pull hand guard or hand grip, because it's probably going to cause some problems there with breaking down of the color. So keep that on your metal parts only if you decide to use brake cleaner. What I'm going to use today is something called M-Pro 7 gun cleaner. This is a really awesome penetrating solvent that is good for taking carbon out. It doesn't do anything for copper. It's okay to leave some copper in your barrel because it will help you hold accuracy. But at least, every few months or so you should probably use a penetrating solvent like Croil or TM Pro or something like that will actually get the carbon and the copper fouling out of your barrel. But today we're just going to be using M-Pro 7 just to get the copper out. As far as brushes, I use an old toothbrush to get into some of the smaller places, and if I can't get there with this toothbrush, this is a gun cleaning brush that came in a kit that I got one time. Another brush here, this is a 223 bore brush. It's the shape of the chamber, so this is going to go into the first little part of the barrel, and then this wider portion of this brush fits into the feed ramps and the chamber. And once you've used your penetrating solvent, you can put this in. This is actually on a Glock, a little Glock handle that came with one of my Glocks, and it's the perfect size to go into the upper receiver and put that bore brush in. And so a couple of other things you may want to use. I hardly ever use this. Actually, this is a wire brush in 22 caliber, because I don't like ramming these wire brushes down my barrel. I think if you do it too much, it may actually affect your accuracy and kind of damage some of the chrome lining in your barrel. Chrome lining is very tough. That's why it's used to extend barrel life. But the least amount of hard abrasive objects like these wire brushes you can put down your barrel, the better. So I would only use this if I had a lead fragment or an obvious deformity in my barrel somewhere that needed to be sort of scraped out. These are softer brushes in 22 caliber, and I think this is in 380 caliber that I sort of use in various parts of the rifle to kind of pick up extra solvent that needs to be gotten out of there. And then the last thing that I'm going to go back with is this bore snake. So after I've let my penetrating solvent sit for a while, then I want to clean it out, then I'll just run this bore snake down the rifle, and we'll be done with the barrel after that. So that's a quick introduction. to taking down, field stripping the AR-15 and some tools that you might use to clean your rifle. This will wrap it up for part 1, and then in part 2, hope you'll click on the link below and also on top of the video to actually see me go through and clean the AR-15 rifle with all the tools I have here. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.